Hi, Denisa. Thanks to be with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So let's get straight into our conversation. One word that represents you and why.
That's very intrigued question. I thought about it and then I remembered that actually one of my dear friends told me the word that I very much relate myself to it. It's an old Latin word, solen, that actually represents somebody or situation when one actually have a very quiet strength, somebody who is very calm but resilient through those inner preservations, and this is how I relate to it. Why? I've been acting like that both in my professional and my private life. That's definitely reflecting myself.
Wonderful. So what about instead of an animal that represents you and why?
Based on what I just told you, so that would be the elephant, believe it or not. And I like it actually because this is the animal that's so powerful, gives the powerful impression, but it carries a huge weight of actually inner knowing, which
Mm-hmm.
doesn't feel like advocating or expressing out loud, but rather through perseverance and through dignity. And then you can see it because it embodies in the way it shows up to the world, to the inner world, but also to the outer world. So this quiet messaging is quite powerful. That's why I very much admire elephants.
And they're great species and very, very intelligent as well, right? So
Yes, indeed.
good, good. So let's switch gear and you have great career. What is the thing you are the most proud of? The event, the situation, the project? So what is really something you're proud and why are you so proud of it?
Oh, well, first of all, Luigi, let me say that I'm very much proud of my whole career. And for one thing, this is very generic conclusion, but let me explain. Whenever I think about my career, think through back, I really have to acknowledge that I've been whole my career, which is a little bit more than 10 years. I've been working on jobs that I've really loved and enjoyed. And that's the biggest achievement, I think, in a professional way. So whatever was my tasks, whatever role I was entitled to, I really much enjoyed. There was so much passion, and one could tell the way the job was done. So I think it was quite a lucky circumstance for me, and that's why I'm very much proud. But if I really have to point out to something specific in my career, that would be my role as a cyber threat intelligence head of the department. Why? Because this was a very transformative experience to myself, and for two things. One is professional, and one is very personal. First of all, that was completely new element that we introduced in the organization where I used to work. It's a government department, so it was based on my huge vision that I had. And now when I look back, I see that the vision was very good. It was also timely, it was accurate, and it took a lot of really anticipation to introduce it and to present it to all the stakeholders who had to support it. It was very much innovative at the time because there was no role model, at least not on a national level. Few around the globe. What was the idea? How to introduce this element was quite innovative in the methodology, and also therefore consequently the results were quite new for the system in which I used to work. On the other hand, it was very much transformative for myself as well, because it took me a lot of, well, like I mentioned, a lot of powerful and quiet persistence, because it's not really easy sometimes to bring a new idea and tell all the traditional decision makers why is this relevant and why we have to pursue it whenever they don't immediately see the value, but through the time. So it has been very good experience, and that's why, and it took me a lot of work, so that's why I'm very much proud of it.
Very dear to my heart as well. So great, great.
Yes.
So we know each other thanks to the Women for Cyber, and I'm a firm believer that actually men should do more to allow for diversity and inclusion in our industry specifically, but wide. So if you could give a suggestion of an action that a man could do to help more diversity, more inclusion, what that should be?
So I would have a lot of recommendations in that regard in general, but if I start with the environment in which I work and what is the reality where I am, so sometimes the men can really help the most if they don't do anything. This is also sometimes just create the space and leave the space for women to really express themselves and to be who they are. And doing nothing means not creating a hostile environment to them so that they can grow in the industry. That would be the first enablement really for the woman. And this reflects on the society in which I live very much, unfortunately.
Very good. So staying in our space of cybersecurity, if you had a magic wand and you could change something, what that would be?
Well, honestly, I would like to change the perception of cybersecurity, which is nowadays very much mainstreamed, because it really kind of make it more too simple to the point where we lose the idea of its importance and the trends that it brings. So we tend to have so many people talking about cybersecurity, cyber defense, cyber diplomacy, whatnot, and those messaging going around the common citizens who are not that well educated with so many elements, and then you really spread a lot of disinformation and misinformation about the industry. So I would rather keep it to the professionals, less mainstreaming, but more really tightening of the industry, which is really an emerging one.
Okay, well, that's a controversial one. Very good, very good.
Yeah, I can say I would love
Excellent.
sometimes we debate about it.
Very good, very good. So let's perhaps talk briefly about artificial intelligence, right? So in the last 2, 3 years, this being the buzzword of everybody, and there is so much noise about it, right? So some think that is a problem because it enable the criminals to become more effective, scale more of their capabilities faster, and all of that. There's kind of push for the benefit that the defenders have of now be able to analyze much more data, be more capable when you analyze the reports from the CM and so on and so forth. What do you think about the future of AI in cybersecurity?
So let me start with the statement that, firstly and most of all, I'm a strong believer in a science and in technological advancement, and I'm always pro that. I really believe that the human life will change in a better way thanks to massive development of technologies and different aspects of science and overall integration of all those elements. Whereas AI has been very much discussed nowadays, and we all already know some good and bad things, some of which you have mentioned. I really think the adaptive learning that is coming with the AI is something very positive, and we have to acknowledge that already now, even if we consider this as the early stage of AI in somewhat. I see also a lot of issues that AI created in the cyber domain, a lot of automated attacks, overload of events in the field, definitely. To shorten, in short term, it's an issue. In a mid-term and long term, it's definitely benefit. What we are lacking now, it's more understanding of it, more to get ourselves, a little bit better into it. But definitely mid to long term, it's advancement.
I love the optimism. Absolutely. So
Let's reconvene this discussion in a few years. And
I'll put a
very good.
reminder calendar. You can bet on it. So back to your career, your experience. If you had to now pass one of your learning and things you have learned in this period to someone entering in the industry, what that would be, what they should do, don't do, or
To summarize, there is a very much really so many things that I would share with somebody who would enter the cybersecurity. Many lessons learned, both good and less good. But to summarize, I think one thing that should be always in the backhand of every cyber professional is that cybersecurity is not really only about protecting our assets and data. The goal is definitely safety of our values, of our processes, definitely the safety and security of citizens as the goal. But ultimately, we should not forget, and we should keep really working in the field, having in mind that the ultimate goal should be protecting the dignity of oneself. This brings us to what is known as the human-centric approach to cybersecurity, and that's a good one, but it's actually more than that, because this is really a more academic approach, and we all learn definition, and then we go, what is means really in practice human-centric approach. But saying to preserve someone's dignity, it's more to personalize actually cybersecurity, to bring it to one individual and make it relevant to every and each of the citizen. And I think if we have that in mind, whatever we do will bring us back on track, so we don't lose the idea where we started, where we are heading, and what we want to achieve at the end. This conclusion came actually after one very, very exhausting and long cyber task that I've been doing with my colleague. And then we had this late discussion. And I said, this is actually the thing that we should remind ourselves all the time, and that will bring us optimism as well.
Excellent, excellent. Good. Well, we are toward the end. What is the one question I should have asked you that I didn't?
Hmm. Well, a lot of things we could talk, definitely. And recently I watched the TV show, and then somebody said, nobody ever asked what it took me to get here. What is the really things that I had to go through myself, the silent battles, And that is also true, because nobody sees how it comes success until it's there. But what I really would like to share as one thing that nobody asks, but it is why do I still find cybersecurity amazing, and why do I love it, and still inspires me a lot, is that I finally acknowledge that this has been my way of expressing whatever artist feelings that I have or talents that I have. I always find a way that brings something new to create, to be creative, to expand, to express yourself in some very nice ways. And when you put this job that way, it becomes more colorful,
It's definitely very colorful, and I agree with you. Well, people think of the industry as a very technical, but it's actually one of the most creative, innovative, full of curiosity. So it's no two hours are the same in this industry. So Denisa, we are at the end. Thank you very much. I'll put down here your LinkedIn profile so that people will be able to continue the conversation directly with you. I'm sure there will be some exciting follow-ups. And till the next time, thank you.
Thank you.